So welcome everyone, you're all welcome to my video, and in this video I'll be covering the recap for last week, which lasted from 2nd February to 6th February 2026. So we saw lots of movements in the market, and the market has been really volatile lately. So there was a lot of moves, a lot of opportunities, and we called a lot of that on my Telegram channel. And a lot of these moves, I know a lot of you will be wondering how we come about them or how we catch those moves. So I'll be sharing in this video, I'll be sharing the key entry that I used mostly, like the major entry that I've been using throughout the week, and how you could actually take advantage of it. So this video may be a bit lengthy depending on how I'm going to cover everything, but then stay tuned. If you are new to the channel, leave a sub, like the video, and share it to others so that we can actually reach out to many others out there. So without any further delay, let's jump right into it. So the last week's weekly outlook, as you can see on the screen, we had this bearish trend line, and we had all the expectation and everything just as you can see it. So if you missed that video, you could actually use the link to check it out. But then when the market opened on Sunday, on Sunday down towards early Monday, that's during the Asian session, we saw price buy gap down, price gapped aggressively, which means price gave a full body close below this whole region here. And remember, already the expectation was either price like hold this level to fall off, or use this break out of this level and continue, because if you can see clearly here, already we had a big bullish break of structure here, but then price gave a full body close below the whole bullish level. That means completely changing structure and still telling us that it's still going to maintain the bearish trend line at this level. So basically, already the first and the entry that I've been using a lot had already appeared at this point. That is, let me show you guys this. I've spoken about it a lot of times in my videos, and probably if you've been with me in the channel, you would actually if you've been following up, you'd actually know how this works. So basically, there are times that probably, let's say we have a bearish level, and price usually might use this type of candle. It could be bullish, it could be bearish and all, but let's say in a bearish scenario like what we had somewhere here, so most times what happens is that when we see this kind of candle now in that bearish scenario, is a signal that price is actually planning to sell more. But what happens is that when you take 50% of this week, of the longer week, like in the bearish scenario, the week will be to the upside. So we take 50% of that week. If we should measure 50% of the week, usually if price doesn't sell off, and actually the best way to take this is actually for price to close below the candle and then we sell off. That's the usual basic stuff. But then we have a scenario whereby instead of price to do this, price would actually do something like this: close below, go up, and then tap the 50% of the week before it sells off. There's this scenario. But what happens is that most times with this particular entry model, what you may say is probably price is trying to flip that level as a way to, instead of it to use it for a bearish trade, price wants to use it for a bullish one. What you tend to notice is, you notice that price, this is how the entry works. So you notice that price will do this, come into the 50%, then maybe we might see some form of reaction. The next thing you notice is a full body close above the week. What tends to happen is that price will come back into 50% of this week and use it as a way to push up higher. Basically, this is how it works. So the way you can take advantage of this is that after the full body close above this high, now after we have the break here, let's just denote the break with BR. After we have the break here, the full body break above it, you can easily take your entry at this at 50% of the week. So you'll be looking for your entry at 50% of the week, like this. So you can just move like this and target wherever you want to target. And then there are times whereby probably after you do this, after prices are respected this level previously and it's already pushing, we might tend to now see a very, let's say, price fails to push up higher and we get full body close below this low. What tends to happen is that price will then use this same candle level, this same candle as a way to sell back down. So we'll actually see each of these scenario, and just like I said here, the same thing goes for a bullish scenario. The same thing goes for a bullish scenario. Whenever we have something like this, probably in a bullish case, most likely what happens is that price just closes full body above it and use it as a way to push up higher. But then we have cases whereby price would actually come for instead of price to just act like that, we'd actually see something like this: full body closed above the level, but then price comes back into the candle, taps into it, then we can push up higher. So basically this is the same thing from what we saw previously, but then there are times whereby if now price wants to use this as an inversion to sell off, what happens is that you would most likely see something like this falling back into it, fail full body close below the low and come back for the level and use that way to sell down lower. So it will be something like this: full body close below this low with another candle, then easily price will come back for 50%. Or the way you take this entry is either you take 50%, but make sure that there's a full body break below the low. Either take 50% or from this start here, that's what your entry would be. So basically this is the entry. So I decided to cover this first of all so that we can proceed into the recap, because there's a lot of it kept on popping a lot, and most times when you see this kind of entry model, it actually brings about crazy trades. You guys will see that though. So this was already what was going on here. If you notice, this is how price closed last Friday. That's the Friday before last week. So you could see we had the full body close above the low, and you could see the next one that formed fell into the 50% level, fell into that candle, and you could see the next candle appeared to be bullish. So that's actually basically how it works. But then notice what happened with market open now. We saw price gap down. This gap already is giving us a serious full body close below this whole level, meaning that now if you are looking for yourselves now, because price has changed character, and if price has changed character now, you'll be looking for your entries within the premium zone, and the premium zone is just lying within this break of structure here, this change of character here. So basically you could see price coming back into a premium level, and we could easily mark out either this candle and use this high as a way to protect ourselves, or if we even go up to 30 minutes. I think I picked this entry on the 30 minutes time frame. When we go up to 30 minutes time frame, you could easily see what I've been talking about. This is the candle here already. Remember I said on 15 minutes we saw the switch and price pushing up higher, but then next thing, failure. Price, instead of price to hold this bullish candle to push up higher, price give a full body close below it. And if we should take our fib to check 50% of it, can you see what happened next? And price sold off aggressively. So this was actually the first major trade, even though during that week I actually took buys from this level into this guy here, and we took profits before all of these sales happened. But then notice how it happened: give aggressive moves and coming back down here. Remember what I said again, look at what happened here. Already we know that price is respecting this trend line, because there was no full body close above this level. Because if we had a full body close above this point now, then we would actually be looking for ways to buy up higher, but we do not have. So it means that automatically this level here already has been invalidated, because if you look at what happened here, we still have the same type of entry model at this point. but we had the switch full body close above it. So the entry now, the entry that you'll be targeting now, you'll be targeting 50% of this week, and you could see 50% here. This is 50%. Notice how price came into it, then the next candle filled. Remember what I said, if this is the case now, where will you take your entry from? You can just take your entry from 50% of this week or from this start here, and you could just easily protect yourself with your stop at this point. Can you see that? Can you see? And price held up and sold aggressively. I didn't even mark this entry. I'm just even saying this particular entry right now to tell you how effective this whole stuff is. Can you see? Easily put it here and put your stop there and chase your target. Let me clear this out so that we could actually see this better. You could easily chase your targets. Can you see? Very beautiful run. And if you probably price did not come out for 50%, price will still hold this region here. And can you see, just like the stop loss will be really wide, but you could see it here. It's actually very, very, very clean, very clean. So after the first entry that we got during Isha, we still had another re-entry that I didn't even mark, that I was just saying now, which still followed this same entry model. So basically that's how you take that trade, that's how you pick that entry. And you could also use it with other stuff that you trade, and you also back test it and see how it works with your own pair, or how you could actually take advantage of it. So after price sold off, price fell into this trend line level on the daily time frame. After that happened, now if we should go down, let's go down to 5-minute time frame to see how I picked out this entry. There were a lot of trades on Monday. Last Monday had lots and lots of opportunities because there was so much volatility, so much volatility. So coming here, you could see after we fell into this level, that we fell within the region of the daily trend line level. What we could actually see here is the same thing that I said here. Can you see? There's this break of structure. Price failed to tap into the premium level. That is, we have inducement at this point. So can you see? We have our inducement at this point. Where is our inducement? And inducement is this guy that failed to tap and then broke structure. And next thing now, if you should take 50% of this week, what we're looking for? We're looking for at least around this whole around this whole level here within the premium level, and we can see our entry model here at this point. So we could easily mark this out here, take our 50% here, take our 50% there, and take our 50% there. When we take our 50%, we could even easily mark the start of the candle as another entry level. And this is what happened. Price came, took out this inducement, tap into the candle, and you could see the rejection. But then the next candle that formed still pushed into it. We saw some form of range, but within this level now, this first entry is kind of risky. But then within this level, what did we see? We saw this candle trying to reject as though it's going to respect this level. The next thing we saw, the next two candles that formed, took this trade out. That's usually your stop loss will be around this level. Took this trade out and closed above this week here. So if we take 50% of this week here, we should take 50% of this week here. You can see that this is where our 50% is. So if we mark this as an entry, you can see the next candle that formed fell within the level, and our stop below the low of this candle here. Can you see? Price respected that beautifully. I remember what I still said, like price can still invert and use this guy as an inversion still, and this guy will still tally up as a breaker block, because you can see the level has there was a full break above the level, but then that same level that broke above is now this purpose of this candle being showing some form of rejection and showing some form of bullish pressure coming in now has still been reclaimed and used here, and you could see it clearly here. That was exactly what happened here. So it was actually a beautiful entry, I don't know if you guys are following. If you have any question, you can also leave it in the comment section. You could actually contact me directly to know more on how I approach all of this. But there you could see that this trade now was what failed the break out of this 15 minutes bearish trend line, and it actually delivered the target level here at this point. And after we got this trade, if we should go up to 15 minutes, I want to just see how one entry is just cooking up a lot of trades with other confluence. If you come up to 15 minutes now, you notice that after we had this buy, we had this breakup structure here, but then price failed to tap into the discount level at this point. I know it's not very clear, but let's go down to 5 minutes so you can actually see it much more clearly, so that you all see it much more clear. So if we should zoom down to this point here, you could see that at the point whereby price broke out of this trend line, we should take our fib tool, mark this low out, and check towards this point. Okay, yeah, it's falling. Price just wicked into the discount level, but then the expectation, my key expectation, was actually for price to tap into this other block here before we push up higher, but price failed to do that completely. And just kept on buying with the immediate tap into this level here. So after price bought up as high as this, if we should go back to the 50 minutes time frame, we tend to notice that this same model that we've been talking about happened at exactly this point again. You could see this candle that came back into this level, picked straight from within this FVG that's falling within the discount level, and then closing full body. The next candles are formed, close full body close below this low here of this particular candle that rejected as much as this. So this is actually an indication that price wants to sell off or give some type of bearish reaction. And if we should take 50% of the week here, you could see that it's very wide, so you actually need to refine lower. That's why from this 15 minutes time frame, we go down to the 5 minutes time frame. And when we come back down to the 5 minutes time frame, it should be here. When we come back down to 5 minutes now, we tend to notice if we should look at this point here. We could see everything, the tap and the push and the failure of price to close above this high to use it as a way to push up higher. So initially you can see it actually formed here already, but then price kept wicked above this level, but then failed to close above the high, and then now the next candles are formed gave the change of character at this point here. The full body close below 50% of this week here. So what we should expect is most likely price falls back within the 50% of that candle from the 50 minutes time frame, and we still have our FVG at this point, and we can still see price reclaiming this sell level here with this other block here. So can you see what happened? If we easily take 50% of this week here, you could see that this is it right here, and price tapped into it aggressively and sold off to take out this low. I was targeting this low and to pick up buys from this level here, but then you could see what happened. As price tapped into it, price took out most buyers that were buying at this level and still was able to reclaim this level. And you could still see that after that happened now, most people were starting to get scared to chip in the buys, because already with this falling here, price wicked out most buyers and then came back, kept on forming, trying to push down lower, but then the support level actually held it well. And the last time after we saw what happened here, this break of structure here, price tapping into this level as though it wants to sell off. The next thing we had this break above this high, meaning price has changed the character, and easily you could target get your entry here within the discount level at this other block here, and you could see beautiful bullish run up, beautiful bullish and aggressive run up. But notice what happened again. Price failed to fall into the discount level before it pushed up higher. It failed to tap into the discount level. In fact, even if I should take the big structure at this point, it failed to tap into the discount level. So I would actually be looking for my entries within this particular level here, because this is where the other block here on this time frame is actually even sitting on. And if we should go up to 30 minutes, all these build-ups are actually very, very beautiful and awesome, honestly, because everything tends to happen for a reason. Because sometimes people, some traders, that's why patience is actually very, very important in this game, because you could actually feel as though you've missed, but then the entry is still there. It's just price is just building up, because already, can you see what happened here? This change of character already happened even on the 1 hour time frame. And if we just take our fib tool on the 1 hour time frame from this low to the point of the breakout structure, somewhere around here, you can see the top PS was there, but price did not probably come back into to pick up others. And you can see our candle, the same entry model I've been talking about here. And if we take 50% of this week, you could even see that after a while that was down. This is Tuesday, down towards down Friday, price came back and picked up that entry, filled the took out the inducements, tapped into the discount level properly, and picked up at this entry and bought up. So, but let's finish up here with Tuesday. Let's proceed here with Tuesday. So if you should go back to the 15 minutes time frame, go down to the 15 minutes time frame, I want us to notice something, and why I actually took this entry, even though this particular entry is now tend to become risky because of the fact that price is yet to fall into the discount level. So let's come back here. Notice what happened here. This whole level, there's selling pressure here. There is a lot of this level is a resistance level. So majorly what happened here already, we knew that we had the whole bearish pressure at this point. That was why we had this reaction when price went as high as this. And you can see we still had this entry here, but then price tapped into it and failed to hold it properly. But notice, I remember I said just mark out the level and leave it there. So I had to mark out this level here to but because already you could see that price tapped into it, wanted to respect, but then bullish pressure, full break above it, and next thing was sitting on this level. I remember this level initially I spoke about how still playing the same game of this same entry model that we're using here. Can you see? This was it here. If you should just shift this a bit, you could see, if you just put this here, you can see that now price has been able to break and close above the candle here. Next thing you tend to notice is that price started to sit down at this level now, trying to use because already you know that now we have a breaker block at this point, and even additionally the whole change in service give restore, everything happening here. So if we should go down to 15 minutes now, coming down to 15 minutes now, we would easily see this and this other block that was left at this point, swept liquidity from this candle, tapped into this average on 15 minutes. So we could easily look for buys here to target, look for targets around this resistance level at this point. But already, because of the fact that we broke out of this bearish 15 minute time trend line, I actually expected price would actually freeze completely. But then you could see this towards this New York, price was actually very choppy, but later down Asia we got our level to be delivered. So coming down to early London, down to mid London session on Wednesday, we saw a switch, because most traders were actually targeting up as high as 5k or $5,200 per ounce. But then coming down early London on Wednesday, we saw something very, very amazing, because this entry actually repeated itself so much, and it was actually very, very crazy. So let's look at how it happened at this point. So let's zoom in here. if you've been following, you could see that already it formed at this level here. Can you see this candle that formed next closed above this guy? So taking 50% of this guy already, it's the entry first of all. But then let's come down to 15 minutes. I want us to take a look at something. When we come back down to 15 minutes, you tend to notice that we had this entry model sitting at this point, whereby 50% of this week bullish move took out this high. Then the next thing that happened was that price changed character, because the full body close are below this low. Now we'll convert this candle now to be a breakout block. So notice what happened. Still taking 50% light here. And if we should just zoom this a bit and take the week, can you see 50%? So after the full body close below it, came back tapping within the whole region whereby the candle was sitting at. And can you see what ignited ourselves? Can you see what ignited ourselves? Delivered a very beautiful trade. And why would I be targeting this point? Remember what I said here? We initially had this, but price failed to tap it after we broke out of the level here. Can you see what happened next? You could easily take another buy trade here, and price delivered a very nice and sharp sniper entry that ran very well. I think about 6 hours. And when it got to this level, guess what we had at this point again? We still had that same entry sitting at this particular level. If you should put down, I think on 5 minutes or so, if you come back down to 5 minutes, I want us to see what happened, because we got that plus additional confirmation entry that delivered over 20 R. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. Okay, can you see it? The candle here tried to push price up higher, full body close below it, and we could easily mark the candle here at this point to be our entry. And price came here into this level. That was actually why I marked out this TP here. But imagine if you are not actually short to enter this trade because of how wide this top is. After price taps into this level, if we should go down to 15 minutes now, when we go down to 15 minutes time frame, we tend to notice that the same thing happened again here. We saw the whole rejection here, full body close below this week, and you could take 50% of the week as your entry. And even after picking this entry and price holding into this entry, you could still see it form here again, and price still falling into this same candle, and I think about 50% of it. And next thing, the next couple candles kept on selling off, and you could see the confirmation was about 27R and the trade was about 8R. So it was actually a very aggressive trade. And why I said I like the way price flows is that already now you could see that price was actually working in regards to forming another bearish trend line. And remember what I said here, taking 50, the same entry here already here. What I was talking about, price still coming back to fill this down Friday, and this bearish trend line that price was actually forming and playing with, you could see that it was working with something in the bigger picture. And if we should go to the higher time frame, you could see that it's actually a bearish trend line that is attached to our 8th, and price was able to break out of it now with that entry on Friday. So you could see it's actually very easy, I would say that, or very clear, very clear. The entry is actually very clean. I've been talking about it for a while now, and I've shared a lot of clips about it. So coming down Friday, our first entry was this guy. I think I actually dropped all of this breakdown on the community channel, but most of the trades were actually dropped on the VIP. So beautiful entry, that was actually why I dropped it. Picture entry, picked and came towards the trend line, decided to consolidate, and next time we broke out of it. Easy, we have another entry now at this point here. If we should zoom in closely now, you can see I actually marked out 2 entry levels at this level. Can you still see our entry model here? Full body close above the week, price tapping into it, and aggressive push, break of structure. We just take our flip tool from this low to this high, price tapping into the discount level properly, picking up our entries at the other block that should be sitting at that level. I think we should zoom in. We should go up to about 30 minutes, but we could actually get to see the other block better. My network is a bit slow this evening. Yes, as you get to see the other block better, you could see price held that up beautifully. So from this point, actually what I'm expecting is I'm expecting price to continue pushing up higher, probably to push up as high as tapping into 5,237. But then with the way price closed, I actually expect price to be able to break and push up higher, because already we kept on moving in a very good manner. Price kept on tapping properly, and you could see what happened here. After this tap, I think this actually tapped into the discount level, because structure, can you see price tapped into the discount level? So what happened was that from this week here now, you could see that price gave a full body close below this week here, but after it did that, price came back into the same level again, and now it's still pushing up higher into the level. So what I actually expect to say is probably, most likely, maybe with market open, price would gap and close, meaning it has closed above this candle here, and with that full body close above it, most likely just tap into it again and continue pushing up higher. So basically, this is actually what I'm expecting. The weekly outlook video is live. You could actually get more details about how we're approaching the week, this new week, and win with us basically. So I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. So thank you for watching.